Reality. Reality receipts.
Welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast, starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley. I'm a little sleepy today from my Canada Day party last night. I was just telling Ricky it was about 15 boys under the age of 10 here with my kids, not with me hanging out. So it was not that kind of a party for adults. It was a child-friendly party. So anyone who's partied with that many kids knows it's exhausting. So it was late night for us, but I'm here, and your celebration's coming up. So it's a big holiday week. So hopefully you guys are having a good time and not as tired as I am. But we got so much to talk about with this episode. It was a crazy one. I just watched it this morning and I got thoughts. Can I just tell you what I think happened? I know not to get all the way to the end, but remember last time how you said that Cassie had said people told them stuff, right? I kind of feel like someone came in from Casa and told them that Huda's the villain and you guys aren't calling her out enough. People are mad about that. And now they're all going hard at Huda, not realizing like that was 10 days ago and people have moved on. She's not the villain anymore to some people. So, like, because things have changed. Like, the switch up is just crazy. So
Drastically.
that's my theory, but I don't know. What do you
No,
think?
honestly, I'm so confused how we got here. Like, I'm so confused how we got here. And it's like you're either on opposite ends of the spectrum. And it's just, I mean, we'll get into it and I'll get your thorough thoughts, but I don't know how we got here. Like, I'm honestly baffled. You know what I mean? Because it's
Baffled is
just
a good
like,
word.
we can't, like, yes, you can move on and you can forgive, but you can't forget. So you can't compare Huda and Alandria's crash out. The part of the reason Huda's crash out was so ridiculous is because it was 4 days in. And you know what I mean? Like, and
Mhm.
versus you can't compare a 4-day in versus a 4-week in crash out. You can't compare, you know what I mean, like screaming and yelling and when somebody's like basically not even able to defend themselves, to like Taylor, who 1000% deserved that crash out. You know what I mean? You can't, I'm upset with Olandria for her own actions in that crash out. And yes, there are some points in this episode where Huda was valid, and I give credit where credit is due, whether I agree with the person or not. But I just to me, you just can't compare the two. Like, so I'm just like, what are people seeing? Are we watching the same show? How did we
Yeah.
get here? What the fuck?
Yeah. I know. I've seen a lot of people talk about how wrong it was of Olandria to mention the kiss, right? Where I'm thinking she knows Olandria and Shelly are BFF, right? Like, she said that in front of not just, it wasn't a private little combo with her and Olandria. It was sort of like to a group of girls. I didn't take in that moment that was like some big secret. And then also people have been pointing out, like, remember when Jeremiah chose Iris and Huda stood up there in front of everyone and like berated them and said, you're not even attracted to her. You told me you don't even want to sleep in the bed with her and all of this terrible stuff. And so it's similar situations have happened. And I know we did not like Huda for that. So I understand where people are like, okay, now they're just sinking to her level. But acting like she's this big innocent victim is a bit of a stretch, I think,
That's
right?
the issue for me. There's Alandria, in my opinion. I know we just in it now, so
Yeah.
rock with us, guys.
I know.
Oh,
I went right to the
Olandria
end.
was wrong.
Uh-huh.
Olandria was wrong. She was dead wrong for telling everybody about the kiss. I don't even really know what the point of telling everyone about the kiss was, because Shelly did not care. And I think that is where people are getting confused. Like, really confused why people are so upset with Shelly, because to me, it's like Shelly is just like kind of trying to force Ace to lock in. to close it off. Like to me, that's why she's making this such a thing. You want it to be open. You want it to be open. You want it to explore. You want it to explore. She wants
Yeah.
this man to. She wants him to close it off, and she's giving him all the signs to close it off, and he's just not taking them. Now, as far as I think the kiss was irrelevant. I think Olandria shouldn't have said it. I don't think it was the place to say it. It wasn't her place to say it, and it was honestly irrelevant to the conversation. But my issue is like we're not going to victimize Huda and make her this innocent poor girl who's like getting, everyone's bullying her and everyone's being so mean to her, because that's just not, like you said, like, okay, Olandria did something, it was a mistake. Huda has done the same action. So, and she has this loyal wave of supporters. So Olandria deserves some grace. Like she made a mistake. Like she shouldn't have said it. Cool. Like move on. Just like you guys moved on from all of Huda's bad behavior.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I definitely feel like they have just hit a breaking point with her. And, we heard Hannah give a little more descriptions into the way she has been moving in the villa. And I think this is just like the last straw. People are kind of acting like these girls have been best friends and sisterhood, but we watched Huda spend like weeks telling them, sisterhood, sisterhood, you're not going to kiss Jeremiah, you're not going to do this to me. And now, the second she doesn't have a man she cares about, she's totally switched up on them. So, of course, they're annoyed. Like, I think it's valid that they're not like, they're allowed to say, like, call her out on being a hypocrite, just like she would call them out. And she is trying to by saying, you told me to explore. Here I am exploring. Like, get over it. So I don't know. It seems like people forgot everything that's happened so far.
yes, and that's the thing is I need somebody to like make a compilation of everything that's happened, like what she's saying now versus what she was saying then. When she stood up on that podium and said, "This is Love Island. Everyone's open. Nobody owns anyone." I melted in my seat. I think I caught on fire because I was like, "What are you talking?" Like, and again, why didn't anybody in that moment stand up and say, "Why was that not your sentiment when it was Jeremiah?" That is our whole point of this. This is why we're here, is because had that been your sentiment from the beginning, you wouldn't have needed a redemption arc. But that can't be your sentiment only when it benefits you. Only when it works in your favor can that be your sentiment. Now, all of a sudden, you and Jeremiah were not closed off. Let's
Mhm.
not forget that.
Yeah.
You guys were not closed off. So no one owns anyone. Everyone's open. This is Love Island. That should have been your sentiment in the beginning, not only when you don't have a connection or when everyone else is in a deep connection and you're not in one anymore. That's not the way it works. And that's my issue with Huda, is like she just, and even in one breath on the dock with Nick, you're saying, "I'm sorry, I did go too far. I am accountable. I take complete accountability for my actions." And then you go and write Shelly a mail that says, "Isn't it just a challenge? You and Ace are still open." Which one is it? Can you imagine if Shelly opened up that letter and it said, "I am so sorry for taking it too far in a challenge. My friendship with you means more than any challenge. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I acknowledge what I've done wrong. I appreciate that you didn't do it to me with Jeremiah, and I should have given you that same respect in return." Can you imagine if that's what the note said? What the hell could Shelly say besides, "I respect it. Thank you"? But instead, you're going around acting like you're taking accountability, and then you're still having like this, it's just a challenge, but it's just a challenge. It's just, which one is it?
Well, and imagine right now if Chris was making out with Shelly or Grayson or anyone else, because Huda was starting to crash out a little over the flour and the two pancakes. So what if he was actually exploring? He doesn't really seem to be, so she's lucked out. But he's like, he did the flour and pancake for Shelly, but besides that, he's not really like making out with other people or really trying to explore, right? So I want to see how she would act in that situation, and then she can fully be on her high horse about it's just challenges or it's exploring, but we haven't seen her have to deal with that situation again. And so it's hard to say that she's changed. So I don't know. People have really switched up. Like they're hating Alandria and Shelly and Sierra online. And I don't know. I just don't think what has happened warrants that, because 2 weeks ago everyone online was saying, why are these girls not calling Huda out? Why are they allowing this behavior? Why are they just standing there? And I do think someone has put that in their ear now, because they do seem to be going a little harder than they ever have on anyone. They feel comfortable, I think, to finally say what they're thinking, and someone has told them that's a good idea. I
Either
think their
I think
information is late.
I think it's what you said. Either someone is feeding them that they need to call her out, or they're just sick of it. It's
Yeah.
one of the two. You know what I mean? To the point where, and unfortunately, the things they were trying to call her out in this episode, she had some valid points, right? So now
Hmm.
it just seems like they're picking on her
Yeah.
because the whole sisterhood thing, right? Sisterhood, Shelly being like, you don't have to pretend like you brought Chris back for me. You brought him back for you. Just stand on that. Huda, in that conversation she had before they went back from Casa, she told Shelly, I want to explore him too, but like, he'll be in the villa if you want to still explore him. But she did not in any stretch of the imagination say, it's just for you, girl. She didn't. She told her, I want to explore him too. I don't have any other option. So where Shelly's getting this, you're making it like it's for me. Unless they had a conversation we didn't hear.
Yeah.
Huda did tell her she wanted to explore him too.
Well, one of my followers pointed out that conversation, and I've gone back and looked now, that it does look very chopped up. It's like Huda says something, and then it kind of cuts weird, and then Shelly's like, that sounds like a great idea. Like, it just doesn't look natural. But I mean, if we're gonna go there, then it's like the whole show is not natural. All of it's chopped up, so it's hard to
Yeah.
like base our opinions off of that.
Yeah.
But the fact that Shelly seems so like thinking things happen differently than what we saw, and it looks chopped up, it does make me wonder, because I do feel like they are trying to give Huda this redemption arc. I don't know, the conversation did look like she told her though, so I don't know how they could have chopped it, but if you do watch it, it looks weird. Like, I just, the way Shelly was like, that sounds like a good idea, it just didn't
It did
sound right.
sound weird. And even the
Yeah.
conversation on the dock with Nick sounded weird. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was like you took it too far with Ace. Like, but there were no specifics, there were no details, there was no anything. So
Hmm.
the conversation was weird. Like,
Yeah.
what sounds like a good plan? What sounds like a good idea? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like and then now here you are. Now we know that a conversation has been had with between Huda and Chris to say, Shelly's gonna pick Ace, I'm gonna pick you, you make sure you pick me. You know what I mean? So now there's conversations where we're strategizing and we're not
Yeah.
going off of the surprise of like, do you like me? Do you not? Are you picking me? Are you not? Because there's no way you're going to tell me that Huda didn't go back and have a conversation with Chris and say, Shelly's going to pick Ace, I'm gonna pick you. And so even like I know a lot of people liked Chris after last night's episode because he defended Huda and all of that. But for him to be up there like, I don't give a damn, like I could be playing ball. You do give a damn because you applied
Ew.
to be on Love Island. So if you want to be on Love Island, your goal is to get as much screen time as you can. So yeah, being in the villa would benefit you, and it is something you care about, or you wouldn't have applied to be on this show.
And let's be real. I mean, she has a child, and we've seen her crash out hard. Like, there's no way that that's his first choice. Like, I don't think he really is into Huda. I think he has no other options. He knows she falls hard, and she will stick with him. And if he just lets her think that he likes her, she will take him to the end, because I'm sure he knows she has a following and a fan base. So it's not feeling that authentic. And yeah, him denying that he cares about being there only makes it seem more fake to me. I'm not saying he's obviously probably attracted to her. She's gorgeous. I'm sure he doesn't mind hanging out with her, getting to know her, but I really don't think that that's a love story in the making, outside the villa, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't.
I don't know. I just
He
like
wanted Shelly, right? Like, that's what he
that was his
expected. That
first
was
choice.
his plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Huda's not Shelly. but
Well, they're very different.
hmm
I don't know. I thought I sensed a spark between him and Amaya, like he was flirting with her with the snoring, and then he sent it to
yeah.
her again in her game, and I thought it was cute. Like I'm like, am I sensing? And then we hear him tell Elin earlier, like, oh, like she's bad as fuck, like you know what I mean. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, is there a possibility for that? Because clearly Amaya and Zach K are done.
Yes. Should we? Yeah. Should we go back to the start of the episode now? Because are we too
Yeah,
late for that?
I mean, I don't. We could. I
There's not
think
much
that
to talk
the
about.
entire episode was the game.
Yes. The only stuff was Amaya and Zach had a little chat, which, wasn't, it does become relevant later, I guess, because she has that
Yeah,
chat with him, giving him the chance to kind of be honest, which he isn't, and then he is later in the game, which was brutal.
but she's crying again in that chat.
Yes.
And she
She's
is
very
very
emotional.
emotional. And I love Amaya, but that can be a lot for somebody. Like, I don't understand why she cries in every conversation she has with the man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
I
why.
think it's the energy they're giving, right? And I think she's very sensitive to that. She knows they're not that into her. I think she could sense when she sat down for that conversation where it was going. Like I think if he was being reassuring and loving, it would be better. But I think she knew immediately by his demeanor that he was not into her. So
Yeah.
her
And I
emotions kind of
feel,
took
but I
over.
feel like we saw her do that with JD too. Like they weren't even in a couple; they were just kind
Yeah.
of having a conversation about nothing, like just about like maybe potentially getting to know each other. And I guess she needs somebody who's like sensitive, just like her. From the beginning, I think Zach K used her to get into the house,
Yes.
and I think a lot of people have been riding her coattail just to secure a place.
Hmm.
And that's kind of why I wouldn't really trust Chris with her either. But Chris seems more genuine than Zach. It was just in that
Hmm.
moment she wasn't letting him speak. She was
Yeah.
talking over him. He was trying to answer her, and she wasn't letting him speak. But that was his moment to say how he felt. But I also feel like in Casa, she asked him directly, does babe bother you? Does pet name bother you? Like she has PTSD from Ace and Austin,
Yeah.
that like she's asking upright, like very specifically, does this bother you? Can you handle this? I'm a sensitive gangsta. You know what I mean? This is just how I am. And in the moment they say yes, and they're just foolish, they're lying.
Yeah, and I think she definitely realized that in this episode, like that they act one way till she saves them or they come into the villa and then the switch up right away, right? Like they don't want anything to do with her. So that's hard because I think, she can only do so much. You have to sort of trust that these people like you because everyone is trying to get saved and get in the villa, but it's hard to tell who's being genuine. I'm sure for them, not for us as much. We can see. But
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what we see and what we be seeing, because it's just now I'm starting to think like, what are we not seeing? Because we'll get to the Taylor and Alandria of
yes.
it all, but yeah, I do feel like that conversation happened before the game. There was a conversation with Huda and Nick, which again,
Was
seeing that
weird.
conversation and then seeing the game, it's like, Nick, you're fake. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Like, you're fake. Like, you literally did. I'm here for you. I got you. Only to tell the girl she should have went home, and you robbed Hannah of her experience. Like,
See now, were Nick and Ace writing out those little cards together? Were they sitting together writing their cards?
I think we saw him, Taylor, and the Three Musketeers. I thought we
Yeah.
saw them
See,
all writing.
that's what I'm thinking is when Nick sat with Huda, like he was being honest, like that's how he felt. But then when he sat with the mean boys and they were writing, I'm sure they were like, yeah, like write this and say this and do that, like that's where it came from. When they get together, then they get more mean about Huda or Jeremiah all of a sudden. But on their own, they're not as brave without Ace there to back them up. So
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because I just thought, because she said that he pulled her, and you know,
yeah.
just wanted to express that she did go too far.
Hmm.
And I mean, again, Nick, we've seen you go way too far in challenges,
Yeah.
grabbing ass and doing all of that. So when she said you went too far with Ace, and I think it was in the sense of like you could have picked whoever you wanted and you didn't have
Hmm.
to pick Ace. And I think that is the the problem. Shelly seems more upset with that. And I'm
Hmm.
not like I'm just like Ace and Shelly's stuff is like really confusing to me because I'm
Yeah.
like, there's just so many things that are so confusing. I don't understand why people are so upset at Shelly. I feel like she's not really doing anything. Like she's upset with Huda for the principal, and she has every right to because she stuck to the principle when it was for you. You should stick to it when it's for her. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You didn't want us to do it when Jeremiah was here and you guys had a strong connection. Don't do it to my strong connection. Period.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
I saw someone post their theory is, I can't remember who it was, but they said their theory is that Shelly is more mad about Chris. Like could have no. But I'm like, why? Her and Ace just say you like each other already. Close off. It's so ridiculous. It's wasting
Yeah.
everybody's time. I'm
Wasting
like,
everyone's time. And like I think I've heard that theory too that like,
yeah,
oh, Shelly's just mad at Huda because he's pursuing Chris. I don't get I'm
yeah,
not sensing that at all. I'm
no,
sensing a frustration in Shelly because she wants Ace to close it off.
yeah,
That's what I'm sensing. I'm
no,
sensing like, okay, Chris, you told me that you're going to pursue me. You had all of these words for me. You know, you had all of this action in Casa, and now you're not giving me that action now. So I'm not going to jeopardize what I have with Ace for you. So Ace, close it off. And I think her
yeah,
frustration is in her not wanting to be the one to say, hey, close it off.
yes.
And
They're both playing
and Ace
chicken
is not
still.
picking and Ace is not picking up on that. He's like literally saying, I don't want to close it off with somebody who doesn't want to close it off. And it's like she's literally, you want to be open. You want to be open. You want to explore. You want to explore. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
To me, that's like close it off. Close it off.
yeah. It's gone way past the point now of just exploring other connections or not wanting to close off too soon. Like it's just getting so silly.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like Shelly. Everyone's like, oh, Shelly wants Chris to chase her, and Shelly is mad about Chris, and honestly, when Alandria said about the kiss, she had no reaction. She was like, I don't care. Like she was like, I don't
No.
care. Like Chris can explore Huda, he can explore. I think she's thinking his intentions are like, okay, he
Yeah,
like he's exploring Huda now because that's his ticket to the
better
end, but
choice.
he
Yeah.
doesn't seem to care that he's exploring Huda. And
Hmm.
I don't know why people are focusing in on that. They're like, "Oh, she wants Chris to chase her." But I feel like we've seen Shelly since the beginning. She's not the one that's going to go pull a guy for a chat. She's not the one that's going to put forth all this energy and effort. She didn't do it with Austin. She didn't do it with Charlie. She didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like she waits for them to come to her. And I feel like that's what she's doing with Chris, and she's confused why he's not doing it if you said that I'm your number one, you know? But also I do think you shouldn't really care. Like you shouldn't really care because you do have Ace, you know? And to me, I feel like she doesn't. I feel like she's doing all of this to get Ace to close off. But I think people have different perspectives and thinks like, oh, she wants both. Like she's mad that Huda kissed Chris and there's not gonna be two people in the villa that are off limits. Like, and I'm like, are we watching this same show? Like, I don't think that that's her point at all. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it definitely feels to me like someone has told them like you need to start calling Huda out. People are mad because yeah, they are holding like they're finally holding her accountable, but people now are finding it to be bullying, which makes no sense. So I just
So,
don't
do
get
you
it.
feel like Shelly and the girls are holding Huda accountable in regard to how far she went in the challenge?
Yeah, I think because, or just the whole fact of how she treated everyone for the first like 3 quarters of this game. And now the fact that she's being such a hypocrite, I think someone has told them, like, don't let that slide. Like, you have to call it out. But because yeah, I don't understand what Shelly is upset about. Like, Huda did go a little far in the challenge, but it is just a challenge. And I understand her wanting to call out her being a hypocrite, but yeah, she needs to close off with Ace, and then maybe the stuff wouldn't happen. They want to stay open and explore, so it's just causing problems for everybody.
Yeah. I just don't I think to Shelly's point, it's like I don't care if we're closed off or not. You and Jeremiah weren't
Hmm.
closed off. You
Yeah.
didn't you wanted this respect, we gave it to you. Give it to me in return, period.
Hmm.
I don't think where Shelly was wrong is not having the chat with Huda
Yeah.
outside of the game. She shouldn't have had this chat inside of the game because that's just not the time to discuss that. The girl tried to pull you for a chat. You told her you would talk to her tomorrow and you didn't. And then
Hmm.
you sent her mail, she sent you mail. That wasn't the time to have the conversation. She seemed more to me, yes, the principal, you shouldn't have done it because I didn't do it to you, but also she seemed more so upset about the Chris of it all. Like, you told me you were bringing Chris back. Like, I think her frustration to me seemed like, you're selfish. Basically,
Yeah.
you are selfish. You try to make it seem like, and maybe it wasn't centered around Chris. It was just chopped and screwed to make it seem like it was centered around Chris. Like, you
Hmm.
try to make it seem like you're doing things for our benefit when it's for your benefit. You know what I mean? Like, the Chris thing was for you primarily, and you're trying to make it seem like it was for me. And I think there was other sprinkle of things, right? Like, this whole sisterhood worked when it was, you wanted us to stick to it when it was for your benefit, but now that it's for our benefit, you have a different approach. Like, and I think that that's where Shelly's frustration is coming from, and I can see that. And I really don't think Shelly cares about Chris. I think she wants Ace
Yeah.
to close it off with her. And now
Yeah,
Ace
because
and Shelly and their boundaries, how she's like, we set boundaries so that we're comfortable. And he's like, I'm not going to down my stuff down as long as you want to be open. It's like Shelly's mad at Huda for the challenge. Ace is mad at Shelly for the challenge, but Shelly's not mad at Ace for the challenge, but she is because he's not respecting boundaries. I didn't know if she was upset about the like Ace crossed a boundary in the challenge in general, or Ace crossed a boundary with Huda in the challenge, because we verbally hear her say, I'm not mad at you about
mhm.
Huda. So what boundaries is she saying he crossed if she's not mad at him about Huda?
Honestly, Ace and Shelly are just annoying me. I'm like, I can't with them. Like, yeah, they have too many boundaries that you just need to close off because
Yeah.
I don't know what she's mad about. It's crazy for her to even think that Huda would. I think the point is she's mad about Huda acting like it was for Shelly, right? Because it's crazy for Shelly to think Huda wouldn't explore Chris. She has no connection. Of course she's going to explore him. Like, for her to even think that wouldn't be a thing, maybe that's where people are getting upset with Shelly. But I don't think Shelly did think that. I think she's just annoyed with the way that Huda's portraying it. Like, it's all for you, and I'm such a girl's girl, right? So I think people are just mad with the way Huda is always saying one thing and doing another, or like
Saying one.
portraying things a certain way when that's not how it is. So, because she must have known that Huda would explore him, she doesn't have anyone else.
And
So,
she said it. And that's what
yeah,
confuses me. Is like, she
hmm,
said it. Like, she
yeah.
said it. I'm gonna bring him back. You can still explore him if you want. I've been telling him to explore you. She can't help it if he's not doing that. Like, and again,
Do
that's why
you?
it's like the conversation, we're missing something. There's a puzzle
Mhm.
piece missing, you know, because
Do you?
I'm so confused about this boundary chat with Ace, because I'm like, what boundaries are we talking about? If you're not mad at him for what he did to Huda, you're mad at Huda.
Do you think that she really was telling Chris to pursue Shelly? Because all we saw was her get mad at him for giving her 2 pancakes and flowers. So I never saw her say to him, please explore Shelly. I love that. Like, did that really happen? They just didn't
I
show
don't
it to
know. He
us.
validated it. He said
He
yes. He was like,
did, but
yeah.
I don't know. He would be getting mixed messages then because she's telling him it's favoritism. You're giving her more. You're doing more for her. And then in other scenes, she's telling him go chase her. I just don't see that happening. But
That's
he
true.
he did agree with her.
Also, how, right. That's a good point, because is Chris showing favoritism to Shelly, but Shelly feels as though Chris is not putting in any effort. But we haven't seen Chris and Shelly have a conversation since they've been back in the villa. They haven't. We've seen him have a conversation with Ace, but it seems like majority of his time he's spending with Huda. And I do think that if Chris pulled Shelly for a chat, Huda would not fucking like it. She would crash out. She would
She would.
she would have an issue with it.
Mhm.
Um
See, why doesn't Shelly just, well, I mean, if she actually likes Ace, then she does, but it would be funny now if she was like, all right, I like Chris and I'm going to go all in on Chris and just see what happens and see
yeah,
how Huda handles that.
I
Huda can
think
have Ace.
I
Now I'm
think
just
that
delirious and
Shelly
like, what? Let's mix it all up.
Shelly and Chris are done, in my opinion. I feel like
Yeah.
after tonight's game, just the little daggers that they threw at each other, he
Yeah.
sent her a message, she sent him a message. Again, you guys have not had a conversation, but you guys are sending each other mail. Just have the conversation. She's telling him he switched up on her. She's telling him that his intentions and the words that he said are not matching his actions. Basically, she in my assessment of it is like you said you wanted to get to know me since you've been back in this villa, you haven't attempted to. You know what I mean? And to me, I don't think she should care because she has Ace. And then in Chris, you haven't done that. Like you have been spending all of your time with Huda. So again, Shelly, just go with Ace. Chris, explore your connection with Huda. Like you want Shelly to give you something in return, but you're giving her pancakes.
Hmm.
It
Well,
seems
and
like that's all he's been doing is like maybe just making her breakfast, but I could see how Chris maybe would be a little intimidated, or not intimidated because I don't think Ace intimidates anyone, but like how it could be a little uncomfortable for him to pull Shelly with Ace
yeah.
right there.
And maybe he should have just pulled Shelly for a chat and said, I feel like you only wanted me here to put pressure on Ace. I don't feel like there's a genuine connection here. You're not putting in any effort back. And I don't want to just be here to chase you to make Ace see he likes you. So that he could have just said that to her, you know.
Yeah.
I don't
Said
know
it to
why
Huda, but not to her. And I think
yeah.
that's the problem, right? Like, why are we having these conversations up at mail day? Like, why haven't Shelly and Chris had a conversation and why hasn't Huda and Shelly had a conversation? Like, why are we having it up here on this podium in front of everybody? Like you said, Chris has not expressed to Shelly that he feels like he's chasing and getting nothing in return. But I
Yeah.
think you're right. I think you made a good point that Shelly just wants Chris to put pressure. Like Shelly just wants Chris to chase her so Ace could see it and then close off. And
Yeah.
if that's what Shelly wants, she wants Ace to close off. So, and
Mhm.
you're using Chris to do it. Like,
Yeah.
just close off. Nobody gives a
Yeah.
crap at this point. Like, just close off.
Is this the first time they've done this mail challenge? I can't remember. It's
People
usually
are saying that they're doing this challenge and not movie night. There's no way, right? That this was
I
in
thought this was in place of the usually they show tweets,
Twitter challenge.
right? Like, yeah. I hope that would be terrible. Speaking of old seasons, you know who I just saw announce their relationship? Last season's Connor and season 5's Carmen are together.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Connor, who was with Janae and Leah for a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and in
The
the
pant.
one,
He
and
had funny
Carmen is
pants
with
or something.
Kenzo.
Yes, not anymore apparently. So
Carmen
they're
wasn't.
together.
Okay. Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
did see Johnny from season 5 and somebody from season 1 are together as well.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And I saw her, well, she's not our friend. I don't know her. I just love her. But Deb Chubb is going to be on After Sun this week. So I like her commentary. It's good. Also, who else is doing funny?
I haven't seen her commentary this year. I watched 2 Love Island commentary people because I do my own commentary. I don't like to watch people's commentary until I do
Yeah.
my commentary because then I feel like their
Oh, yeah.
commentary will
Watch it
influence.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Woodland. Do you watch Woodland? He's actually right here. I was watching. His name's
Like he was
Woodland.
on the show?
No, he wasn't on the show. This
Oh,
guy
okay.
here, I love his commentary. I think his social media, just from his Love Island commentary, has grown like 50,000 since
Oh,
the
really?
start of the season. All of his videos get at least 1 million views, some 2 million views. Like
Wow.
him and Cameron. Cameron's like the light skin with the bonnet. He wears a bonnet. Those are the 2 creators whose commentary that I enjoy.
Nice. No, I was just talking about previous cast ones. I know there's
Oh,
lots of other
yeah, I know. I
creators,
guess
but
Kaylor is like giving some thoughts on the season now too. But yeah, let's what did you think of the whole Ace in Austin debacle?
I'm getting so sick of Ace. That's all I gotta say. I don't know. I don't know. Also Austin though, I think we're kind of sick of him too, right? Like,
Sick of him. I don't like Austin,
yeah,
but he tried. Like he really tried in
yeah,
his mailbox challenge to stick up for Jeremiah and call Ace, and he signed that shit with his name. He kind of tried to say it with his chest.
he
The
tried.
thing
Yes,
is he said Ace and his posse, like Ace, the posse doesn't go against Ace. Jeremiah was screwed either which way.
yeah, which is true.
Valid. Which is
Hmm.
true. Everything that Austin said is true. I just think that Ace already walked up there with an attitude. I don't know if you noticed, he walked up,
Yeah.
opened the mailbox, like, so he was already pissed about something. And then he got up there, like, just his chest was already puffed out.
Hmm.
And just
Yeah,
he
he
just
seemed annoyed.
doesn't seem like he thinks he's wrong ever. I
Hmm.
hate that, and Raina like validated him
Yeah.
in that argument, because I feel like had she been like, and again, maybe they cut it out because her response was like, yeah. I wish she
Hmm.
would have said no. Like, I would, like,
Hmm.
because it would have just, Ace would have felt so freaking stupid if she was like, did Jeremiah come onto you really strong? No, the feelings were mutual.
Yeah.
He would have been like, he would have had, he would have diverted somehow and been like, well, I felt like he was love bombing. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah. I wish she would have said like we came on strong to each other, and I haven't had a connection like that since you left. We liked each other. Like she could have like totally checked him and been like, yeah, we came on strong because we had a connection. That's what we're doing here. That's the whole point. So
Yeah, that would have been, I think that would have been like epic. People said that Jeremiah unfollowed Andrina because of
yes.
that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
I
because I
saw
know
that.
I seen him on live, and he said like that's the first thing he did was follow her when he got his
Uh-huh.
phone back. And I guess he unfollowed her after last night's
No.
episode. Um, because yeah, I think Austin just doesn't have a strong enough voice to stick up to Ace and speak up to Ace. Ace didn't let him talk. He talked over him, and Austin already talks like extremely slow. So I feel like he was trying to say like they don't go against you. You
Mhm.
just kind of lead the conversation and they go with it, but he wasn't letting him get a word in, and then he deflected to Austin talking about Amaya behind her back, and then the
Yes.
conversation became about that. And I do feel like, well, Amaya has every right to step in. Austin was trying to say, I understand why you're feeling this way, but let me finish this conversation with Ace, because I think Austin realized like he's trying to get the conversation off of himself, and he's trying to
Hmm.
make this about Amaya, which is exactly what happened. And then Austin had all that energy for Amaya that he should have had for Ace.
Yeah.
But again, at the end, it became about Austin and Amaya as opposed to Austin and Ace.
Hmm.
Um,
Did you think it was weird that Ace, he kept referring to himself as a leader, which made me think again, they've been told something, that he's been called the ringleader and all of this stuff.
well,
Because
I
it was
think
just,
Austin
ve-
called him that. That's why Austin called him
oh, okay.
like, "Oh, you have a strong voice, like you're a leader." And
Hmm.
then from that point on, Ace kept saying, "Well, yeah, I'm a leader. Yeah, I
Yeah.
am a leader. I have a strong voice. I say what I think and I say what I feel." And I think a lot of people like that about Ace in the beginning, was that
Hmm.
he was the only one speaking up. Like us as viewers were so annoyed that nobody was saying anything, but Ace was the only one saying something.
Yeah.
But then it got to a point, in my opinion, where I'm like, it's not about you saying something. Like, everybody can appreciate that, but it's like you're not open to being wrong. You're not
Yeah.
open to an opposing, like, you were just so hell-bent on the fact that Jeremiah was love bombing that you couldn't see anything outside of that. Like, even when Jeremiah sat the boys down when Huda was eavesdropping and tried to be like, what do you want me to do? Like, you said that I was locking in on Huda. Now I'm trying to
Hmm.
get rid of her because she's toxic and that's not the connection for me. I'm trying to
Yeah.
explore with Iris. Like, what am I supposed to do? And it's almost like it's not penetrating. He doesn't want to hear that. So I think
Yeah.
that's my problem with Ace, is like, you're not open to being wrong. You just think your opinion is the only opinion,
Hmm.
because nobody really offers up an alternative opinion. So that's
And,
my issue with Ace, is like, you were wrong about Jeremiah. He wasn't
mhm.
love bombing.
No,
He
why does
wasn't.
he think that? I mean, we saw so many clips of Huda being like, "Oh, at our wedding, we move in together," and like that is
They didn't,
considered love
maybe
bombing.
they didn't see that. They
Yeah.
and that's what I want them to show at movie night because
Hmm.
like Hannah said, all I heard was negative things about Jeremiah.
Yeah.
I had a completely different perspective watching the show back. So, and I feel like hopefully, I mean, Ace doesn't seem like the type of person to admit when he's wrong, but hopefully when he does watch it back and does see that he was wrong about Jeremiah, he gives Jeremiah an apology at the reunion because Huda was the one love bombing him, and Huda was the
Hmm.
one coming on strong, and Huda was the one having conversations that made Jeremiah uncomfortable. Like, you've known this guy for 4 days, and you're talking about kids and marriage and moving
Hmm.
in, and like
Yeah.
that freaked him out. Like, Jeremiah liked you, Huda. You quite literally pushed him away with your
Hmm.
actions, and that's why I'm just baffled that people have forgotten how she's acted. You
Yeah.
know.
What did you think of the Pepe of it all? He
Oh, he's
still in
still
love
in
with
love with
Hannah.
Hannah. He needs to just go home and get Hannah.
Yeah, I know he's trying to make it work with Grayson, but it's just not there at
I think
all.
he kind of like, did he write that note to himself?
Probably. Oh, poor girl. Like, I mean, it seemed like she was sensing it and she knew they weren't connecting, but it was weird that she was like talking about why is this still relevant? And it's like, well, if he likes her, he likes her. It's not like about relevance or not. He can't help that. So,
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because first of all, Pepe just defended Hannah's honor all night. Like,
yeah.
he called out Sierra and the girls for sending her home. Like, why'd you do that? And again, their reasoning, so stupid. So
Hmm.
doesn't make sense. Oh, she was locking. Now it's she was locking in too soon. And
Hmm.
and Sierra, you locked in on Nick I think day two, we hear her saying she put all her eggs in Nick's basket. And I
Yeah.
wish in that moment Pepe would have said that. Like, what
Hmm.
did Hannah do any differently than what you've done with Nick? You locked in on Nick day one. What have you done any differently than Taylor? He's at the point where Hannah went home, he had no other connection. And I wish I would love for somebody to just ask them that and have them sit there and have to answer that because there is no answer. And for her to be like, clearly, basically, you're fine. You found another connection. Look, you were able to find Graceland the whole time. Then he gets up and says, no, I haven't been able to find a connection like Hannah. I think
Yeah.
about her every freaking day. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the same. Same with Andrina. You know what I mean? Like, it was clear to me in last night's episode that you guys eliminated Hannah because she was a threat to winning. You
Yeah.
guys eliminated Jeremiah because she was a threat to winning. And now the
Hmm.
only options that we have are Nick, Ace, and Taylor for the win. And I think that that's how they constructed it.
Uh-huh.
That's how they wanted it to be. So,
Yeah, the people that were locking in with the natural good connection with chemistry are the ones that they got rid of, and they actually could have gone far. So their logic is not making any sense at all.
yeah, and I'm glad. I mean, I wish Pepe would have said that. Like, you
Hmm.
did the same thing with Nick. Like,
Yeah.
like, so what's the difference? But he did it, and for you to tell him, oh, you were able to move on and make a connection. Like, no, actually, I wasn't. Like, I
Hmm.
still think about Hannah, and I haven't been able to make. I don't. He turned down Andrina, like,
Hmm.
for Grayson, who he doesn't even like. So clearly, it's about Hannah, and
Hmm.
he wants Hannah. Like, and I think he's gonna self eliminate and leave the villa. Honestly,
Yeah.
um, and
Go
go get
find her.
Hannah because the
Yeah.
fact that he's still thinking about her, I think, is so cute,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
I
I
think,
could actually see them dating outside of this, whereas like half the people in there, I cannot see them making it outside of this. So
yeah.
hopefully they work it out. What about our poor Amaya? Had a rough episode. It went a little far, a lot far on her. So, I mean, the Austin part, we knew how he felt, obviously, but
You
that was
should have
her
told her.
first time hearing it.
You
Yeah.
should have told her. And that's the thing. Austin, you're a fucking hoe for doing that. Like, why would you put that? What? She asked you to your face, is there
Yeah.
anything I do to make you uncomfortable? And you said no. So I want to hear it. And that's the thing that Ace was talking about, like, you don't have the balls to say anything to somebody's face, where I do. At least you have to respect Ace for everything he felt about Maya. He told her to her face. Rather it was blunt, rather it was rude, rather it was wrong. He told her to her face. He didn't go talking around the villa and then sending an anonymous note, because Austin didn't find the note to Amaya. So I just think that that's really, and all, why are we talking about things or bringing up things that have been squashed already? Austin, you're with Jaden now. Amaya's not with you anymore. You don't have to worry about it. What
Yeah.
what are
It
we
felt
talking about? Then it
unnecessary.
felt unnecessary. Then Zach, you're trying to get your moment and dogpile on her when, bitch, you had every opportunity to tell me when we were sitting down and you didn't. And I'm glad you heard that Bronx come out. You heard that New
Yeah.
York accent come out. She's like, I'm not talking to you. Like, I was like, oh my God, that's right. She was like, I'm not talking to
Yeah.
you. Am I bugging?
So-
Am I bugging? I heard it. I heard it.
Yeah. I know.
But I
She's
just
so
thought it was
cute.
extremely rude of
Yeah.
Zach. And I'm
Yeah. Just
glad she checked
pile
it.
on.
And then Ace piled on. So everybody being like, oh my God, Ace stuck up for Amaya. I'm like, are we forgetting that 5 seconds ago he dog piled on her? Talk
Yeah.
about you need to meet us at our level. I love that Brian's the only one that
Yeah.
stood up for Amaya in that moment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that he said, in families like this, that's how we talk. And like, what's the big deal? I don't understand ever why Ace made it such a problem. And the only reason it was such a problem for Ace is because he didn't like Amaya and he was just using her to make Shelly jealous or whatever they had been playing this whole time. And he was just worried how it looked. It wasn't, I don't feel like it actually bothered him. Like, who cares what someone calls you? It wasn't part of his little game plan. So,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
and I think for him, he like tried to tell Brian, like, I was trying to meet her at her level. No, you were not.
Yeah.
You were not trying to meet in the middle. You were like, don't touch me. Don't
Mhm.
look at me. Don't call me babe. Don't da 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 da. Like, that's not me. That's meeting on the opposite end of the spectrum. And there's nothing wrong with having a boundary and setting a boundary. And no, I'm not saying that he has to deal with something that he's uncomfortable with. Like, if you're
Yeah.
uncomfortable with it, you're uncomfortable with it. You should be able to voice it. And Amaya should be able to take it without crying. But I think we've seen in every instance, like, for me, like, she learned from Ace and went into every situation since then asking up front,
Hmm.
does this bother you? Does this make you uncomfortable? Are you okay with this? This is who I am. This is how I operate. This is how I talk. This is how I move. And once from that point, once you say I'm fine with it, Zach and Austin are some a-holes. They're some
Yeah.
biatches, because they had every opportunity to tell her and they didn't. And I did. And again, she's emotional, so she starts crying. I didn't feel like what they had said was that bad, but I can understand, like, the dog pile. Like, damn, like, we already talked about this. Ace, why are you bringing it up
Mhm.
again? Damn, Austin, I didn't even know you felt this way about me because you never said it. And damn, Zach, like, we just had a conversation. Like, and
Yeah.
then Ace tried to run after her. It's like, save it. Save
Yeah.
it.
Who was it? Sierra that was like, no, don't go after
Yeah.
her to him. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
she doesn't want to see you right now. Like yeah, he's not been very kind to her the whole time. And that's another part where I'm like, has he been told that we're all loving her? Because suddenly he was trying to be a bit easier on her, but then that didn't really last either. So,
Yeah, then you defend her honor moments later because it
yeah.
benefits you. You defended her honor benefits later, benefits later. You defended her honor minutes later. Oh, you was talking about Amaya. Why didn't you tell her about
Yeah.
Amaya?
Like
To
suddenly he
deflect,
cares.
to
Yeah.
deflect, to deflect off of the heat that was on you. And
Hmm.
that's why people don't like Ace. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, poor
Hmm.
Amaya Papaya. I want her to find a connection in that villa. I think it's interesting that at this point in the game, we're not voting off couples. We're voting off
Yeah.
individuals still.
Yeah.
But before we get into the vote, Taylor and Elandria and the Clark
Yeah.
of it all. Is that our
That's the last
the
part. Yes.
finale?
Yeah, it's so love Olandria, but it is so hard to defend her anymore. It's gone too far.
Mhm.
I get her being upset with the way he has moved through all of this, but I mean, it's hard because he picked Clark, right? So it was like, okay, you got your sign. move on. But then they did have that little combo where he's like, I want to explore both of you. And she should have known and not given him that opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Are you feel
Like
bad for her?
I do, I do and I don't. So
Yeah.
the thing is I love Alandria,
Hmm.
but in the same breath, when Jeremiah picked Iris over Huda, we hear Olandria tell her, now that he's made his choice, it's clear. Now you
Yeah.
can let it go. So you have to apply that to yourself. When he
Hmm.
picked Clark, he picked her over you. That's a clear
Yeah.
sign that he wants Clark. On top of him not pulling you for chats. You guys had one chat. You said your head wanted to do one thing, your heart wanted to do another. You didn't want to disrespect Clark in the challenges, or you wanted to kiss her back. So again, you are giving her this false hope, but I don't know why Olandria can't read the signs of like if he's not pulling you. My whole thing in that whole argument was that she wasn't saying to him, you've been playing with me, you're not honest with me, you're not interested in me, you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
you've been playing this game. That's not what she was saying. She was saying, you don't pull me for chats, like you don't talk to me, you told me you want to spend time with me and you're not doing that. And it's like
Yeah.
you're yelling at him for not showing an interest and then don't understand that he's not interested. You know what I mean?
And it should be so obvious now because, she could tell herself this is just how he is for weeks up until Clark came in. But now you can literally see how he behaves with someone that he likes. Like he's completely different with Clark. And, you know, I feel like it should be obvious to her, but I think she's so far gone on him. And like you said, I think she really does like him. So she's
Yeah.
just very delulu about it. So,
Yeah, and it's like earlier on in the episode, we hear her saying like, "Oh, I'm going to explore my other connections, but they're not as strong as Taylor." Cut to him saying he's in a soft boy era for Clark, and it's like I think Taylor's. So here's what confused me. So Ian Sterling, the host of Love Island, I don't know if you've seen the clip going around of him where they asked him, who do you think would have won this game? And he said, I've been doing this for 10 years. Clark, Olandria and Taylor were my like I would have bet my house on it. I would have bet everything on it that they were gonna win the game. So it makes you think if everyone in the villa thinks that they had this strong connection, if the host who sees footage that we don't see thinks that they have had this strong connection, as a viewer, it seems like he has not been into her this whole time, just with like obvious cues, body language, eye contact, you know what I mean, affection. What is everyone seeing that we're not? Like what is
mhm.
the missing puzzle piece to where the host of the show would have bet his house
Yeah.
that they were going to win this game? So whatever that is must be what Olandria's holding on to.
Hmm. Yeah, because I don't see that
We
at
haven't
all.
seen
Like,
the
I don't
effort.
know.
We've seen what,
Yeah.
one date that he did for her, the dance date?
And they've never had that chemistry that we see, like with Hannah and Pepe and Clark now and Taylor and Huda and Jeremiah. There's this thing you can see when you know. But I think the problem is last season we did see a couple of situations where it did turn into something, like with Serena and Cordell. So I think that's what people were banking on, that were building such a good foundation of friendship, but I think at some point it has to turn into that passion, and it just went like it's too late now. And now
Yeah.
he's so different with Clark. So I don't know though, because we did see that last season with Dea was her name, right? Like
Yeah.
Cordell did seem to have a much more physical, passionate connection with her, and ultimately like Serena. So I don't know. I guess
But
maybe
it was
because
that connection that made, because I remember going into Casa, I wasn't mad at Cordell for being with Day. I was like, good, this is how a girl acts when she likes you. Serena, up until that point, had been curving Cordell. She curved him in the little dance challenge. She told him she wanted to still be open. She friend zoned him twice. So I was like, damn, like she doesn't like this boy. but she was telling him, and I think that's the difference, right? Serena was honest with her feelings. She told Cordell, it's not romantic. There's nothing there romantic for me. I'm putting you. And it was up to Cordell to keep putting in that effort. He's like, I'm gonna keep putting in that effort. So when Cordell went and got with Dea and it was physical, I didn't understand why people were mad at Dea. I think people were mad at Dea because they thought she knew what was going on in the house and
Yeah.
sunk her teeth into Cordell because it was her best option of securing a spot. But it was that relationship with Dea that made Serena realize that it was romantic. You know what I mean? And so from there it shifted
Yeah.
and Cordell chose Serena, where we have the opposite thing happening here, where Clark, like, he's realizing I have more of a romantic interest in Clark, and it's making me realize that I don't have that with Olandria, and I want to move forward with Clark. But where Taylor's going wrong is he's not being honest in his feelings with Olandria. He need Even though to all of us, your actions are the answer. You're showing it with your actions, but you're not showing it with your words. And I think Olandria needs it clear as day with your words to say, I choose Clark, which is what he did at the end of this episode. But I feel like he had already said that when he chose
Yeah.
her the first time. So the
I
fact
think
that Olandria sat there and let him answer that question boiled my blood, because I would have been like, he ain't got no choice. His choice is Clark, because he ain't got, like, it's over. I would have called that. I wouldn't have let him. Why did you let him? Why did you, like, you were still sitting there waiting for him to say you after all of that, even after your crash out, which he fully deserved. But the crash out just was almost begging
yeah.
him to spend time with you, explore with you, want to, I
I
don't,
think he needed to say, like, after he chose Clark and then they talked after that, he needed to say to her, like, I chose Clark because I like Clark. I don't see anything romantic with us. I want you to go explore and find your person. There's nothing here. And, like, you wouldn't think you have to be that direct, but
direct.
you do, obviously, because it has been a few weeks and they have built something. So maybe she was holding out hope. She was, obviously. So he needed to be direct after he chose Clark. I think he thought that was direct, but then he said the head and heart thing, and
Did say though to her, Clark gives me a different feeling. He said
yeah.
that to her.
But then I think when he just told her after that challenge, like, my head said choose you, and then whatever else, that obviously gave her false hope, and I think that was wrong of him, and that's where people are blaming him and frustrated with him, because I don't think there is any world in which he wants to choose Olandria over Clark right now. So why is he even entertaining it?
Yeah. I think that Clark is his clear choice, and he was saying that there was still an interest in Olandria to not hurt her feelings,
Yes.
but there
But
was clearly not still an interest in her, and that's why he didn't pursue it. But if
yeah.
somebody has to ask you, why? I mean, because Huda's question, right, was like, why are you telling her you're going to spend time with her and then you're not? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not because I don't want to.
If he
And then
wants to, he will, right?
when she asked Clark, do you feel like he's trying? Like, do you feel like he's trying to get to know me as well? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Olandria deserves better than this.
She
That's all I
deserves
know.
better than this. You don't have to beg a little string bean man for your attention. Like,
Yeah.
and I think he made a good point. Like, you know, you want me to move in this villa for you, to keep you here. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to explore my best connection. And I think all of us seen the shift in Taylor when Clark came in. This is how he acts when he likes somebody.
Hmm.
And it is what it is. It's not Clark's fault that Taylor likes her. It's not Taylor's
Hmm.
fault that he likes Clark. Taylor's
Yeah.
fault was that he should have been honest with Olandria, and he wasn't. But Olandria's fault is not seeing the signs and not listening. Not like, I'm pissed the girls were encouraging her to talk to him and explore that, because it's like he already made his choice. I don't understand how he can make it more clear.
Yeah.
You
Do
gave
you
him a
think?
chance to make it crystal clear because you gave him a chance to choose her over you yet again. And that's what I didn't like for Olandria. Like what did her card say? Like, stand on business and stop being such a bitch?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what does that even mean? Stand on
Yeah.
business in what? Stand on business in what? He
Yeah.
did stand on business when he chose Clark. Like, that's what I don't understand. What does that mean? Stand on
Yeah.
business and stop being a little bitch.
I think she's just taking his being nice too seriously. Like when he said, "My head and my heart are torn." Like she's taking that literally. Like she actually thinks he's debating this decision. Like, and he just had to be more clear, and he was on the episode. So, do you think there's a chance of bringing anyone else in still? They usually bring one more person in.
I think the only thing that makes sense at this point is bringing Jalen back in.
Yeah. I really think they could save this whole season by bringing some people back in. They brought Jeremiah and Hannah back in right now. Like, Hannah and
I
Pepe
think
could win
if
it
they
all with
brought,
Jeremiah and Andrina.
I think the Jeremiah ship has sailed. I do. I do think it would be a jaw-dropping episode to bring Hannah and Jalen back in.
Yeah.
And
All right.
that would turn this whole season around, in my opinion, because now you have Olandria and Jalen in the running for the winning slot. You see, Pepe has just expressed his freaking love for Hannah publicly. That would just, the viewers would eat that up. But the
Mm-hmm.
fact that Andrina kind of said that Jeremiah was coming on too
Yeah.
strong, I feel like that ruined that. Like you said, how she said what you said earlier, had she said it was mutual and I haven't been able to find a connection since, that would have left an opening for, yeah, like they're sending our strong couples home so that they have a chance of winning. The audience seems to be really mad at Nick Taylor. Taylor's out of here. I feel like Taylor's going to be in the bottom. I don't
Well,
know who's going to win. Iris and TJ.
I mean, Vanna, I watched the rest of her Biofalls interview. She said TJ has no personality. He doesn't laugh at nothing. She said men usually find her funny, and she said the men in the villa were real downers. She said Ace didn't find her funny, TJ didn't find her funny. It was just like she was joyful to get out of there, she said. So that could have just been they weren't feeling her, and that's just the energy they gave her, but she was not impressed by the men there, is what she said. And she does have lip filler. I missed that part. So
Okay.
she did not deny having lip filler. The
Okay. I was
the
like, there ain't no
the
way.
rest she said was from a pillow. But again, she looks beautiful. So I don't know. Must have been the pillow. But yeah.
So voting opened, and I thought we were going to get to vote by couple, but they had you vote for your favorite girl and your favorite boy. Um,
I like that because then I feel like a lot of people voted Chris and Amaya. And
yes,
that'd be
a lot of people
awesome if
voted
they end
Chris
up
and
together.
Amaya.
Mhm.
A lot of people voted Chris and Amaya. A lot
How
of
about they
people,
put Chris and Amaya together, bring back Hannah for Pepe. I guess Ace and Shelly can stay. Jalen for Olandria. Everyone else go home.
yeah.
Done. I like that. I like those couples.
Yeah, and even like Taylor and Clark, like I'm not mad at Clark. I'm not mad at Clark. Like
Oh yeah. They
the girl came in. I don't like Taylor. I don't like how Taylor handled Elandria. I don't feel like he was honest, but she should have picked up the signs. The signs were clear. And like the fact that she's so stuck on Taylor is what's making me frustrated with Olandria, because you said in one episode you're not going to pursue it anymore. And then in the next episode, you're like, he's my strongest connection, so I'm still going to see what's there. I'm just not going to put it first. Then you're like, oh, no other connection is as strong as his. And now you're back in like just kind of waiting for him to pull you, waiting for him to chat with you, waiting for him. Meanwhile, watching him with Clark. And like you said, anyone can see that, like, if you look at Clark and Taylor's relationship versus Taylor and Alandra's relationship, you can see the clear difference. So that's my frustration. I don't think Taylor is wrong for choosing what was best for him. Where he was wrong is leading on
yeah.
Olandria and her
Yeah, because
allowing him to do that, you know?
we do feel like maybe she could have had something with Jalen and he kind of hindered that by not being honest earlier.
And
'Cause
that's the thing, is like he kind of used her to stay in the house.
yeah,
That's the
And
problem.
I don't know about Nick and Sierra now. There's some drama going on online about Sierra has an old story posted with a racial slur. Now people are calling for her to be kicked off of the island,
Mm.
which I understand because that we saw Yulissa get kicked off for using a slur. And then something else. She's friends with someone. I don't know who this person is. Some Brooke Schofield. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm
I don't
not
know
up
who
in
that
the
is, but I did
TikTok
see
stuff,
the
so
thing about the slur and people wanting her off the island, and people are also not like people are very convinced that she is a game player. That's why she's so eloquent with her words. That's why she's so poised all the time, is because she's a fan of the show. She knows how it works. And Nick too, the I think people are starting to sense some like not genuineness. I don't know if you noticed on their date when she was like, "So I'm your dream girl," and he was like,
I noticed he was not
curse
that
a
I saw
lot.
that part too where she was like he said like I'm all he wants out of this villa and like there's no one else for him or something. And then they like cut to it and he never said any of that, which I mean maybe we didn't see, but
Maybe we didn't
she
see
was
that.
saying it to him, not the other way around. So
So I think we see a lot of that, right? Because I think even with the kiss with Huda and Chris, we see her say, "Oh, he said he started his feelings changed after he started talking to me." And I'm like, he didn't say that. He actually said he hasn't been raised to chase and not get anything in return.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of word twisting going around. So
Yeah. And again, it could be
anyways.
because we're seeing a certain version that we're
Yeah,
not. But at the end
true.
of the day, I actually voted my favorite boy to be Pepe. Like, and I voted my favorite girl to be Andrina. Like,
What?
I knew everyone was gonna vote Amaya. So I'm like, I'm gonna offset the votes.
Even after she roasted Jeremiah.
I know, I was flustered. I don't know why did I should
It's
have
a
just
lot of pressure.
I knew that Amaya was gonna get a lot of votes.
Hmm.
But now I feel like I should have voted. If they're not bringing Jalen back in, Alandria, your man's not there. There's no time to build a connection. But I do like people are dogpiling on Sierra and Shelly and Olandria, and I should have voted for one of them just to boost their votes, just because I don't think what we're not gonna do is send them home when they make a mistake, but you guys let Huda make all the mistakes and she is here. She's still
Yeah.
here. Like that's what's
Hmm.
not going to happen. So I should have voted for sure. I just left the episode confused and flustered and mad at everybody. But I should have voted
It's
for
random.
Shelly or Olandria just to ensure that they were safe because the
Part of me,
way the internet's going, they might be in the bottom.
yeah, part of me wants her to stay in and be with Chris because I have a feeling we will see the same behavior and then people can just let all this poor victimhood go. Or she will change and then we can actually get on board with supporting her. Either way. Like I feel like we need to see more.
But we're not
But
gonna like. I hear you because I feel like you can only the tiger doesn't change its stripes. Like she hasn't
yeah,
changed, right? In my
no,
opinion,
I
she's
need to see
showing
more.
glimpses of possessiveness with the pancake and the flower, and even the questions she was asking Chris, and like you
Hmm.
know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it's there. She's concealing it, but
Hmm.
also it's only going to come out if we see Chris exploring other women, if we see him trying to, eh, you know, go through the experience the way you're supposed to go through the experience. But it's
Yeah.
also late in the game to start going through the experience how you're supposed to go through the experience. So it's like we may
Yeah.
not see it because Chris might ride it out to the end and lock in on Huda because there's not much time left. So I don't know. But what we're not going to do is call them mean girls when they've been dealing with this girl for 3 weeks. Obviously, from Hannah, we have a different perspective
Hmm.
of like she is selfish. She does make everything about her. Everybody was drained about her and Jeremiah because it was me, 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 me. I can't imagine that all the time, 3 weeks straight, and then finally, when we speak up and we do what everyone has been telling us to do, now everyone's mad and
Yeah.
now we're mean girls. Like no,
Yeah. I
hell no.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, I'm interested to see who wins the votes and who goes home. because yeah, when you get rid of some of these people, it's too much, too
I
many,
have a feeling
no
it's going to be a
connections.
massive dumping. Like more than
Yeah,
two people are going home. I think at least four
bottom
or maybe
three.
even six are going to go home. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, should we get into the valley? We're also talking about the valley today. We didn't mention
Oh
that
yeah.
at the start, but
Oh yeah. Oh
do you
yeah. We've
feel
been
do
rambling.
you do you feel up to that, or are you
Yeah,
talked
let's
out
do
for
it.
now?
I feel like
Okay.
not much happened. It was the big engagement episode.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a nice episode. I thought a nice little change. I mean, no Jax again, which was nice. And although I felt like, remember when Zach was like, "Oh, I have," or "You're gonna be mad at me," and Brittany was like, "Oh, Jax is here." Like, I sort of felt like she was hoping that he was there. I think part of her is addicted to the drama. Maybe not now, but a year ago when this filmed, I think she was still like in it. So I thought
Mm.
that was funny. I think she hoped he would show up. Were you surprised he didn't show up at all?
I guess I wasn't surprised.
No,
Like I just no, I wasn't surprised he didn't show up. He needs to spend time with his son. He'd been out of rehab for 7 days and hadn't seen his son. So that's exactly where he needed to be.
agree. What
Yeah.
did you think of Jesse and Aaron's drunken
Aaron
chat? Because they were very drunk.
Aaron's eyes really confuse me.
I
Like
noticed they're not as bad later, but in this scene they were, so I think it
they
might be
were
a party related thing, like
I don't
a
know because I
drinking.
feel like I noticed them the whole time. I'm
Oh,
like,
really?
oh, that's interesting. Hmm. I
They
don't know,
were,
but he's definitely giving this. I thought that their chat was right. Like no new information came out. He said the
yeah.
same thing that they've been saying. They're not gonna change their story now, even if they were seeing each other. But I mean,
Hmm.
to Jesse's point, like you got a boyfriend 2 weeks after we split up. Like you don't just find a boyfriend out of nowhere. Like I'm pretty sure they
No.
were
Yeah.
talking to some extent, and Jesse's not ever going to know about it. But I do
Yeah, he,
find it interesting that they're hanging out like
right?
now you guys are hanging out, having slushies together.
I know. Yeah, I thought the chat was interesting. I feel like Aaron wants to be buddy buddy. I mean, Jesse wants to be buddy buddy with him, which I don't know if that like part of me is like that's great for their daughter, right? Everyone get along, the whole co-parenting, that's wonderful. But with Jesse, I'm like I don't think I trust it. It seems very calculated and manipulating. I feel like he wants Aaron to be his buddy, and then they kind of like, I think there's like a word for that where it's called like triangulation. I think he wants to like get Aaron on his side so he can make Michelle the bad guy, right? Like how he said Jesse or Aaron should check in with him before like posting photos and like that I think is a bit far. Like being friends with your ex and co-parenting is one thing. Having to ask the ex, can I post this photo or do this
Well,
is
just know
a
that you
bit
can't
much.
post the
Yeah.
photo. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
just
Just
think
don't do it.
I don't think that Jesse's being friends with Aaron with the right intention. We know that he's always got something up his sleeve. So
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was manipulative of Jesse. I didn't understand why Aaron was with the daughter on Father's Day. Like, is that what he was saying? Or he just posted the photo, like an old photo?
it sounded like, yeah, that's how I saw it, like that the daughter
Hmm.
was with Aaron on Mother's Day. First
Yeah.
of all, why was that happening? Like,
Yeah, I'm
why
like,
is she
that's
with
the
your
first
daughter?
problem. But
Yeah.
yeah, it got awkward when they talked later and like the hockey, like why did he bring up the hockey thing? It was like he just wanted to or but Aaron brought it up, which I thought was
Just said,
weird.
when's the last time you played hockey?
Yeah.
And like, he
It came
just
out of
made it this
nowhere.
whole thing. Like, oh, yeah, you sure you want to know? Like, okay, like you didn't have to say, you could have just said, the last time I played hockey was this day. Like, you didn't have
Yeah.
to go into all the other details. Like,
I know it
crazy.
was definitely giving manufactured, which I have to hand it to them because obviously Jesse's still very angry about this cheating. So to sit here on this vacation with the man that's sleeping with your wife and have these conversations is I think it just proves how like crazy Jesse really is because
Oh,
I think he is so still in love with Michelle that he just wants to be involved. You know, he would rather this than to be not like even thought of or a part of their life. I think he's enjoying like being a fixture in their worlds
yeah.
because most people would not be able to go to Hawaii with their ex and
No.
their new person. It's very, very out there. I
Yeah.
can't imagine sitting there having these conversations, but he seems to do it happily, so he's loving it.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah.
It's strange. Like you said, I think he just would rather have a piece of Michelle than nothing at all. And if this is the piece he gets, then he's satisfied with it, which is really
Yeah.
creepy, but whatever.
Yes, I think it's such a good lesson to like make very sure before you have a child with someone that they're not a Jesse or anyone like that because you will be stuck with them forever. So,
And my whole thing is why the hell are they just not getting another hotel room? Like, why, when you found out that Kristen and Luke are getting engaged and taking over the presidential suite, why wouldn't you say, let me get another room? Like, what? I have to share a shower with you guys. Like, go get a room.
shocking to me. I'm like, what? He's gonna order 1,000 roses and he can't just go rent a little single person suite down the hall. I did not understand. It must be filming related. Like they have to be together just for content because if they're all separated, there's not really any content. But yeah, I was shocked that he's still gonna be rooming with them.
Yeah, like
Like,
like you said, I know now. I noticed that this episode, Brittany's in the room with Jason and
yeah,
Janet. Like everybody's in. Like who's in the room with Danny and Nia? Like somebody's in the room with them.
I
It's like
think,
give these people their own rooms. Like what are we doing?
yeah, I know. I'm like, why
Especially
I'm
the
spraying.
engaged couple.
I know that was weird. And also, like, why are they on a fishing boat for this engagement? I guess they were trying to throw her off, but there's got to be a lot of nice boats in Hawaii that
This
don't have fishing.
pissed me off. I was like,
Right.
is this boat? You couldn't get.
It was like out of Jaws, like,
Boys are
an old
so
rickety.
dumb. Like, why wouldn't you get a yacht and say, we're doing a yacht for the day? So all of her friends could be there at the engagement. We're having a yacht party. Then it's not only are all your friends at the engagement, so nobody's left out, everybody gets to witness it. It's a nice boat. And then you have the engagement party on the boat afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been like a
Oh,
sunset cruise on a yacht with the fancy dinner, and it was very odd to me. I think it came down to them not trusting certain people with the information. And
you
so
could have
some of
told the people that it is a yacht party. You didn't have to tell them it
that's
was an
true.
engagement. What are we doing here?
Yeah, because I did see something, because I felt bad for Britt. I mean, Kristen is one of her best friends, and I thought that was kind of brutal. But apparently, I think I saw Zach say it. He couldn't trust her because he couldn't have Jax find out. And they obviously don't trust Brittany to not tell Jax things. And they knew if Jax found out, he would ruin it or sell it probably to a
That's
magazine.
true. That's true. But I do think you could have just said a yacht party.
Yeah.
Like everyone thinks that they're going to a yacht party. Nobody knows it's an engagement, obviously,
Hmm.
until it's happening.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It would have had the same effect. But this is why, because a boat, a fishing boat, like to Kristen's point, like, I don't need to shower. We're going fishing. We're about to catch a bunch of fish all day. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, they like when they mentioned fishing earlier in the episode before I saw the boat, I thought they meant like a cute, fancy little boat, and like I didn't think they were actually going to be fishing and they were catching fish. Like they
It
were
was
really doing it.
awful.
So,
I'd be so pissed if somebody proposed to me that way.
and he was so stressed out the whole episode. I don't know what that was about. Like I would assume it's very nerve-wracking to propose to someone and you're worried they're gonna find out. Like, but he seemed really stressed about it. It must have been
She's like, yeah, he's really stressed out about his grandma. It's like,
You know what was so annoying about that though? They took that and made it a main part of the trailer for the season. I don't know if you remember that, but
hmm.
him running like he was in the bed being like, I just want you to be there for me, and then like storming down the hall. That was like a big part of the trailer. And then it was literally like a little flashback of the night. Like they barely talked about it. So
Yeah.
that was funny. They made it seem like such a big deal, but
Yeah, for him to be like,
he
I'm
was
going through something, Kristen. I just want you to be there for me. And it's like what you're going through is that you're trying to hide a proposal.
And running, like, they made it seem so dramatic, like he's running down the hall in his underwear, but it was like he was just being a silly drunk person, and Kristen wasn't bothered by it. She's like, whatever. So,
I do think that they're a really cute couple. Like, I think they
yeah.
balance each other well. He brings out a calming side of her. I thought it was cute. Like you said, I think it could have been done a little better. Like, you wouldn't have even had to get off the boat and have all those balloons and stuff in the room, and but cutesy cutesy. What do you think about Janet? Not the whole Janet of it
Ah,
all.
Janet, Janet, Janet. I mean, every episode gets worse. I do feel bad. I saw them post on their podcast today. The messages that she gets, like the DMs, is crazy. It's like die and you're so ugly and like just horrendous stuff. And
I don't know
it's
why
like,
people do that. Like, that's so
no.
ridiculous to me. Like, talking about a show is one thing, but like going to these people's Instagram and sending them a DM, like I get DMs
Hmm.
all the time telling me to die, but I'm just like, I
You
don't
do?
care. Like, I'm
Who's
just like, I don't care because to me, it's funny. Like, how
yeah.
bad do you have to be in your life to like go out of your way? And 9 times out of 10, they don't think you're gonna see it. Is the issue?
Yeah,
'Cause I notice that every time I clap back at somebody, oh my God, their tone changes so much. You
totally.
know, but
And
I
I
think
think
you don't think you're gonna say it. But who is like,
I think it's true. You really have to like not read comments, right? Or like read them, but know like the good, the bad, they're all, you can't take any of them seriously. And I have heard from people on shows that like you'll get DMs from these 12-year-olds saying go die or something, but everyone you meet usually in public is very nice and like, oh, you're
mhm,
from the show, and they're always nice to see you. So I hope they don't take it too seriously and understand like the kind of people sending messages like that,
our
but
children?
it's
Yeah.
still sad.
It is
Yeah.
sad. It is,
It's
and it's crazy, and it's unnecessary. And I think that people need to just like watch the show and know where it
But
ends.
then, like, after saying all that, I'm also wondering, like, not everyone can be the well-liked, sweet ones like me and Danny. And I get we need the villains, but sometimes I'm like, Jan, like, what was going through your head? Like, how did you think this was gonna play out? Like, were you thinking Kristen wasn't gonna be liked this season? She's getting engaged. Like, why are you acting this way, knowing she has such a big fan base? But
I think that Janet is leaning into her villain role.
yeah,
I think that she doesn't mind that she's a villain. I think she likes that she's a villain. Like, her being like, oh, this trip, she shouldn't have been on that trip. That was Kristen's
no,
engagement trip. You don't like Kristen. I'm glad that she opted out of going to the engagement party once
yeah,
she
that
found
was good.
out that it was an engagement. But then it's like, also, like, you're just so nasty with your husband. Like, oh, do you want to go? Do you want to go
Yeah.
support them? Like, obviously, he's not going to leave you by yourself. And then in next week's preview, we see her on Kristen's engagement boat on her weekend, like starting beef with her, bringing up this ring thing again. Let it go. If your
One,
husband doesn't take off his ring, he doesn't take off his ring. Like, now I'm starting to
yeah,
think he does. Like, this,
yeah.
like, because you keep making it a thing. Like, shut
Protesting too much.
up. Like,
And what I don't
the
understand is
old
she
Jody
was,
would have popped her. No. Oh, that was
yes.
Stassi. Sorry. That was Stassi that popped Kristen. I
Yes. Yeah, I'm like, do we ever see Kristen punch anyone? I don't think so.
don't think so. Oh, no, James.
Oh, yes. We did see a little bit, yes. But what was I gonna say? Janet was whining about this is the first trip we've left our baby. And so to me, I think she should have been excited, like, oh, this is Kristen's engagement. Oh, we're not going to this party. Perfect. We're gonna go do our own thing. Like, let's go to a nice dinner. Let's go out. Like, let's have our alone time. Like, I think she should have seen that as a positive. Like, because I'm assuming the trip is paid for, obviously, by the production. So now you're like, perfect. We came. We don't have to actually work. We're gonna go have fun. So I don't know why she was so bothered. Like, I mean, no camera time, but she should have just been like, awesome. This is a trip. We thought we were doing work and now we don't have to work. So
Yeah,
it
she's
should have
like
been a good
really
thing.
pissing me off. And I just know next episode she's going to piss me off because time and a place, right? Just like at El
Hmm.
Coyote, you're
Hmm.
you're just inserting yourself into a conversation that has nothing to do with you. And now on this boat, you're really going to get at her during her engagement weekend. Like, you can't bite your lip. I do like that her husband checked her. Her husband
Hmm.
checked her, and when she tried to be like, well, we were just disinvited to dinner, and he was like, no, we were not just
Yeah.
disinvited. Like, you disinvited yourself. Like,
Yeah,
So
because
maybe
Zach
I
said,
stand
like, you
up to
can
her.
come, just don't wear the shirt. And
Yeah.
she could have gone. So, have you ever been to that El Coyote place?
I have not, but it's very close to me. It's very,
It
very
looked
close.
really,
Yeah.
it looked, it looked good, the food. So,
Yeah. Maybe I will
anyways.
go when you come.
Yes, you guys, we're gonna meet in person in what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
I'm so excited. What a long time coming. So it's for something extra secret, but you'll find out soon. But we're gonna be in person. So super excited to come to, it's probably so hot there, right?
It's not too hot. But I
Okay.
mean in 2 weeks it should be getting a little toasty.
It was 40 degrees here yesterday in my temperature. I can't remember what that is in your temperature,
Mm.
but it's hot here too. Not that hot, but
Yeah, it's
I'll
hot.
be
Let's see. Let's
prepared.
look at let's look at the weather for the week
I'm sure that's what you guys came here for, to hear what the weather is. So
in LA. Yeah, in Santa Monica. So yeah, it's not that hot. 70s, 75, 76.
okay, that's not bad.
It's
I can
not too
handle
bad.
that.
It's not too bad. But
Nice.
by mid-July it should be starting to heat up. So we are gonna get
Well,
to meet each other. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Yeah, so stay tuned for more details about that. I think that's all about the Valley. You
Mhm.
got, I mean, the engagement was cute. Super happy for them.
Yeah.
Obviously, their baby's here now. So,
Yeah, and if you guys missed it, we did do the first 7 episodes of The Ultimatum. The final
hmm
episodes did drop today, so we'll get that. But if you missed, and if you're interested in, the first half of the recap, check that out. And of course, we'll
it's
see
really
you
good.
guys for Love Island because we got a little break tonight, but tomorrow we're back.
Yeah.
They're back.
We never stay away for too long.
We
So,
never
yeah.
stay away for too long. We gotcha. We got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Even though I'm not
No,
loving the season, we're just gonna see it through. We got to see it through at this point. So
keep on pushing. We're so close to the end. So, what, one more week, we can do it.
yeah,
No,
we
two
got
more
it.
weeks. So,
Yeah, we got
we
it.
got this. Well, thanks for listening. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us so you don't miss out on any of the exciting stuff we have coming.
Yeah.
So, thanks,
Bye,
guys.
guys.